What is up, my ecchi-loving weebs and otakus? I've been promising anime reviews for a while, and today I'm finally going to do one. It took a while to settle on a format, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Our first anime review is a bit of a controversial one, Ishuzoku Reviewers, which I'm giving an 8 out of 10. Giving the score at the beginning of the review? How avant-garde! Aren't you intrigued now? Don't you want to keep watching to learn why I gave it that score? Got 'em! Ishuzoku Reviewers is a show about a group of guys in a fantasy world going around and reviewing prostitutes, which caused a fair bit of backlash that caused Funimation to back out of its licensing agreement to stream and simuldub the show. You can still watch the show elsewhere, of course, so it isn't too difficult to track down if you want to watch. And if you like ecchi and fanservice and monster girls, I actually think you definitely should watch it. It rocks. Now, obviously, the concept of guys going around and having sex with women and then reviewing the experience for other men is kind of gross and weird and wrong and whatever else. Like, it definitely wouldn't fly in the real world. But this isn't the real world. This is a cartoon, and the women are mostly mythical creatures and monster girls and stuff. And in the context of this world, where prostitution is a normal, everyday thing that basically everybody takes part in, this sort of service makes absolute sense. It's just another example of why you can't really apply most real-world values to a cartoon world. These women in this world know exactly what they're doing, and they don't need protecting. So you can stop trying to white knight anime girls to look cool on the internet, dudes. What's interesting about the show is that it actually answers a lot of the questions that all of the other monster girl shows that have become popular in the last few years sort of tiptoe around, but don't even attempt to answer. Ishuzoku Reviewers actually explores what having sex with elves or catgirls or fairies or undead or slimes or demons or succubi and a bunch of others would actually be like. It's genuinely fascinating. And it isn't just from human perspectives either. So you learn that other species think elf women are gross because they look young but they're actually super old. And there's lots of other little tidbits like that. It's honestly really interesting and entertaining and far more detailed than you would expect. With that said, it actually isn't all that explicit. They are very careful about the language that is used to describe things, and since this isn't a hentai, there isn't any actual penetration or anything shown on screen. There's tits and ass and lots of things that are implied to be happening, but nothing that really crosses the line. Honestly, a show like Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher is much more graphic than Ishuzoku Reviewers is. But of course, that show didn't get nearly as much pushback. Truth be told, I kinda wish Ishuzoku Reviewers actually was a hentai. In the end, Ishuzoku Reviewers is a bit of a touchy subject to turn into an anime, and I don't really blame Funimation for backing out. On the other hand though, it isn't actually nearly as gross and inappropriate as it seems at first blush if you're just reading the plot synopsis. It's pretty tame in its depictions of sex with all these monster girls, honestly. It's also really funny, and the girls are definitely very cute and sexy, but it is also surprisingly smart in how it covers everything. It answers the questions that every other monster girl show is afraid to touch. And I'm glad that something like this actually exists. That's why I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It loses a couple points because, even after the controversy, it's actually not quite explicit enough. Does that make me sound weird? We're all friends here, right? Anyway, that was Ishuzoku Reviewers. We're going to do a lot more ecchi anime video games and anime show reviews in the future, so like and subscribe if you want to see more genuine and honest coverage like this. Thanks a lot for watching!